Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. This is going to bring a couple different ideas together from a couple of other videos and put it in a way that I hope helps you guys. When you spend a lot of time working with people and helping them with their problems, their concerns, their issues, which, don't get me wrong, I love helping people. However, sometimes you'll be in a situation where you're like you're in a cafe or you're at a party or something, and someone starts to tell you this problem, and they just keep laying on layers of it, and it starts to get complicated, and you're like, okay, stop, because when you spend all your time, working with people and their problems, and you're in a situation where people start to tell you your problems, you're like, okay, look, let's cut to the chase here, and this is going back to that video I did on how your energy can be drained. So how to keep your energy from being drained. Well, a lot of times people will come to you with their stuff, and they'll, it could be if your friends, your family, or if you do this professionally, people will come to you with their stuff, and they'll start to and you start to see them getting off on telling you about whatever this problem is and how complicated it is. And I always like to force a change of heart here. It's like, okay, well, while you're very passionate about this pain and this situation, let's cut to the chase, and I'll get to something, and they're like, well, it's more complicated than that. It's like, no, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. This whole thing, relationships, it's complicated, or my situation, it's complicated. It shouldn't be. If it's complicated, you're getting hung up on. If you work to make a situation complicated, you're getting hung up on the uncertainty. You're getting hung up on the fact that you're not wanting to succeed. You're getting hung up. You're getting hung up on the excuses. You're getting hung up on excuses rather than and not taking action. So a lot of times people come to me and they'll say, hey, my gosh, you made that so simple. That was so simple. And there's so many things right now that we complicate. In the healthcare field, they're complicating things. In mental health, they're complicating things. In education, they're complicating things. If someone can't explain something to you with an analogy very clearly and very simply, they probably don't understand the situation. If you are having a problem with your relationship or with something in your life, and it takes forever to get it out and to explain all the complexities of it, you need to simplify it, because you don't understand it. You don't understand what's really happening. And don't get me wrong, I understand sometimes people need to talk stuff out to make a connection, but we often get hung up on our own shadows and our own problems and our own brokenness, because it's how we fill our time. So the question is, how can you simplify? How can you simplify? How can you simplify? How can you simplify? So the exercise here is, okay, how can I simplify? So a woman, she's got a relationship problem, and she's in a situation where she wants the partner to commit. They're not ready to commit, and how does she simplify the situation and make it less complicated? Eight of Hearts. She accepts an idea of family she broadens her idea of family. Okay, so you both have different ideas of family at this point. Accept that. Okay, and from there you can build a bridge to the next step. Okay, so a young man has had some problems with someone in his spiritual studies, and he's trying to make sense out of it. How do we simplify the situation? It can get complicated. Accept your own success and your own vitality, your own actions. Base your own merit on your own actions, not on someone else. I'm trying to think of another one here. Another person is trying to, she's always finding herself in a situation where she's getting this. Oh wow, this one came out big. Okay. It's a it's a relationship question. She's made her standards and her wishes of what a man should be in relation to her too complicated. She needs to simplify and stop changing her mind and her ideas about what relationship should be, and she should sort of simplify her whole relationship thing and not judging her own self-worth on that. And that's how you do it. So when it gets complicated, when you find yourself talking about it over and over again, when you find yourself going over and over, it probably needs to be simplified. You probably made it complicated. It's important to try to simplify these things and get them as clear as you possibly can. And sometimes you may need help with that, and that's where you can go to a professional reader if you need help, and if they're really good, they should be able to help you simplify the situation so that you can get a beat on what the real core of the concern is, not all these other outlining things. You see this in politics all the time. Everyone's arguing about this outlying stuff. They're not getting to the core. You know, they're not simplified. No, it's really more simplified than all this garbage that's going on. People are fighting constantly. These peripheral issues are meant to keep people baffled and confused. In medicine, they can't. Well, we can't cure you, but we'll tell you 50 other things that you've got. And now you don't have a cure, you've got a drug addiction. You know, it's like they're laying stuff on is not simplifying. Sometimes you need to remove and get to the abstraction, the core, the piece, the centerpiece, the simplified piece of what it is. When people say to me, it's complicated, I go, well, maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe you should simplify. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Try to make it more simple, not more complicated. If you'd like to learn how to read playing cards like a boss, I just happen to have a class in that. It happens in a secret Facebook group, and it comes with 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me. And I also have a tarot course. I have a tarot course. If you'd like an advanced to intermediate to advanced tarot course, if you'd like to learn to read the tarot in more spooky ways, I have one in Mexican Loteria. If you'd like to learn to read the Mexican Loteria cards, if you'd like to read Lenormand, I have a Lenormand class, and if you'd like to read, learn to scry with a crystal ball, and this one really helps you to basically up all your intuitive faculties. I have a class in that. If you're interested in learning more about the classes, the fees, how to register, how to get in, contact me, 779-302-8009, or email me at conjurehope@gmail.com. Same number and same email if you'd like to text or email me about getting a reading, if you'd like to get a reading. If things are getting complicated, and it's too complicated and you need to simplify, I can help you with that. If you'd like to get a reading, same number, same email. Remember, when someone says it's complicated, the response can quite often be, well, maybe it shouldn't be.